Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just want to talk about my auto insurance. My rates went up again. So at the beginning of this year, 2025, I went with Progressive Insurance for insurance, auto insurance coverage, homeowners insurance for my three vehicles that I have. I have a 2023 Mazda CX-30, 2018 Nissan Sentra, and a 2010 Toyota Prius. Now, previous to 2025, I was using Safeco insurance. Safeco insurance was really high. I don't remember off the top of my head. I did share this on a previous video, and thus I switched over at the beginning of this year to Progressive Insurance because of the fact that they were significantly cheaper. Progressive Insurance charged me for the first half of 2025 from January to June $2,000, and that was for full coverage for the three vehicles that I have. And for full coverage, I'm talking about like $500,000 deductibles for collision comp for all three vehicles. And then I have significantly higher liability coverage versus the state minimums. I think state minimum is $25,000, $50,000, $10,000. Mine are significantly higher. I think it's like $250, $500, $250. Now, I was happy at the time when I switched over from Safeco to Progressive Insurance, mainly because it was significantly cheaper and I was getting exactly the same type of coverage that I was getting from Safeco. Now, as we approach the first 6 months of 2025, Progressive sent me an invoice saying that my rates have gone up. My rates have gone up to roughly $400, so it's about 20%. It went from $2,000 at the first half of 2025. The second half, they are asking for the same, with the same coverage, $2,400 for the 6 months. Of course, I've heard in the news that all these insurance companies are suffering and they're raising rates considerably. But, raising it from $2,000 to $2,400 is a little bit of a shocker. If you look at my driving history, I have a clean bill of health, clean bill of no accidents, no violations, and same thing with my kids. My kids, obviously they're younger, they're 22 and 20. They've had no violations at all. But I still understand that they're high-risk drivers. They should always look at the exceptions to the rule. If you have had a clean record, no violations, anything like that, why are you raising the rates, right? They should be keeping the good customers, the ones that pay on time, the ones that have no violations, that have never filed a claim before. So I'm a little curious, and there's a little bit of a head scratcher on why they're raising my rates. So in the term, what I've done, and I've thought about this for a couple of years now, and I just went ahead and did it for the next 6 months of 2025. I'm still sticking with Progressive, but what I did is I got rid of collision comprehensive coverage on my 2018 Sentra and my 2010 Prius. And that knocked it down to roughly right around $2,000, maybe a little less. And another shocking part is, the coverage, the cost of the coverage, the premiums for the 2010 Prius and the 2018 Sentra, as far as collision comprehensive, they were the same price. There was, I thought an older car would be cheaper when it comes to insurance, but no, all across the board, it's about the same price for my 2023 Mazda CX-30 versus my 2010 Toyota Prius, which was a little shocking because I thought older cars were a little cheaper to insure. But talking with Progressive, at least their agents, the ones that I guess give quotes, older cars, I guess it's harder to get parts for them. So that's why prices are a little more expensive. So reducing the collision and comprehensive on my Prius and my Sentra knocked it down to $2,000 for the next 6 months. So nothing as far as cost, it's about the same. However, I don't have the collision and comprehensive on my Sentra or my Prius. Am I worried? Not really. Again, we've had a clean bill, clean record, knock on wood. Hopefully nothing happens in the next 6 months. But my kids who predominantly drive those two vehicles, I trust them. They're very safe drivers, no issues and things like that. So I'm okay with taking off the collision comprehensive part on those two vehicles. Now, I assume what's going to happen, starting in 2026, again, I think they're going to raise rates, Progressive. And I've been with them for a year. At the end of 2025 will be 1 year. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shop around again. I shared on a previous video, I shopped around for auto insurance at the beginning of 2025, late 2024, before 2025 started. And I got like 6-7 quotes, I think. And, I'll do that again at the end of this year. I think that's one thing I got to kind of do every year is just shop around for auto insurance and find the cheapest rates. Because at the end of the day, as far as the customer service, I know that a lot of these commercials out there really push about how they're great with customer service and things like that. But if you're never using your insurance, meaning you're not filing a claim, what's the moot point? The accidents I have been in, which are very rare, I can't complain about the customer support or customer service from these insurance companies, even if I was the claimant or the insured. Can't recall a very, very bad experience with an insurance company. I don't expect them to treat me like white glove service or anything like that. Part of it, I just come prepared with all the information that I need. If I was involved in an accident, I'll always get the other party's insurance. And with phones these days, you can always take snapshots of their insurance policy, their license plate, the damage on the vehicle, and things like that. So yeah, I just never had to use, very rarely have ever had to call an insurance company's, customer support line to file a claim or anything like that. So that's a moot point, I guess, on my end, but I'll definitely shop around next year, at the end of this year for 2026 coverage and see what kind of rates I can find. So tell me your thoughts. What's your current situation with your auto insurance policy or homeowner's insurance policy? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.